I'm delighted to welcome back my next guest. His name is Bijan and a very known face here on the Costa del Sol. Very well liked, very respected, and I'm very honoured that you've taken the time to join me at Marbella now in the studio. Bijan, thank you for coming. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be back in Marbella, and always a great pleasure to join you in your programs, Nicole. From the beginning, I don't know which program is it. What's the number of it?
354. So 7 years.
We were from the number one together.
One.
That's a pleasure, really, to see you just going on and going on.
I have to
That's
share
wonderful.
with the viewers that when I first met Bijan, we're in the Melia Don Pepe in a beautiful event organised by Teresa Bernabé. And Bijan came up to me and he gave me so many compliments on the program and what I was doing, and it was only afterwards that I realized that you'd actually given me quite a lot of criticism, but you'd done it in such a way that I was flattered, and I thought to myself, now there is someone special. And you haven't let me down.
No,
I'm always blown away.
I never will let you down anyway. Never will let down my best friends as yourself and people of Marbella, which I love. I mean, I chose this place as my home, and it is still my home. There is nowhere like Marbella in the world. As you know, I'm a nomad. I go around the world here and there. As you know, we had this project in Russia, and it was a wonderful, unconventional love story, which was all going on in a train, which is Trans-Siberian train, going from Moscow to Vladivostok. And there is this man who has done it all, has seen it all, is at the end of his rope, and is going to have a last discovery of something, which I won't tell you yet, because it's the main plot of the movie, and goes into this train, Trans-Siberian, which takes 6 days from Moscow to Vladivostok. And there is an encounter. You know, we all have this dream of one day meeting that very special person, which, you know...
The meet cute, or the cute meet, whatever they say in Hollywood.
You know, we all have this thing in our dreams. I don't think anyone in this world doesn't have that. And if they say that, they're lying. They all have something here which they want. And suddenly, in this little, you know, typical Russian train, with there's a table in the middle, there's a bench here and bench there, the man is sitting there, and there is someone special comes in, and the story starts. But everything was ready, the crew, the budget, the cast, everything. And as you know, somebody in Moscow had the very bad idea of invading Ukraine. So there we go.
And that was after having been delayed from COVID as well, because you've had a lot of setbacks.
Well, we had to start in 2019, as you know, just the beginning of COVID.
I remember seeing a little snippet, and it was just so exciting, because, I mean, that's some rugged territory. That's terrain that needs to be... Not everyone gets to do that trip. That's
I went twice to Moscow, and it was in the winter. We had to do it in the winter time. So there was this nostalgia, you know, that beauty of the cold of the winter. And I went twice. The location is spotted there. We went, you know, had the crew, and all the paperwork, you know, the bureaucracy in Russia is incredible. So everything was ready. COVID comes. And there we go. So we said, okay, we'll stop. And of course, that was a long stop, was 2 years. And then we said, okay, now the COVID is gone, and we could start. There we get Ukraine. But I never give up. As you know, I'm quite a stubborn.
Obviously, it's for a reason. There must be something that's going to happen that's going to influence the movie in some way.
I hope so.
I have to think that, because knowing you have a lot of luck.
Well,
so
I
have
don't
to
say
think
bad luck. I don't believe really in lucks, but these are things which happen in life, as you say, and I hope, because very often you say truth. I mean, I don't know how you know it, but you can say things which happen later on, and it did. So maybe this was a reason that we have to, you know, delay. So maybe something better can happen.
There's going to be something, some element in the film. You know. But you do so many things. So you've been very busy with that. But as you yourself say, you are not a professional observer, but you're always watching in the nicest way. It's not one of these, I'm watching you, but you observe everything. You're very detallista. You notice a lot of things that other people would just skip over. Is this because of your education? Because you had an excellent education, you're an inventor, you're a scientist, you're a research scientist.
Being a scientist, Nicole, you're always trying to find what's behind. You always want to find how the things work and why do they work that way. So you're curious about everything. And I had it since childhood. So, just looking behind the wall, behind the hill, behind the places, going and trying to find it. I never believed in other people. I wanted to go and see it by my own eyes. So that curiosity brings you around the world and you meet so many exciting, really interesting people, scientists, artists, artisans, normal people. And that is so rewarding because they enrich your life. And, otherwise you can sit and be a couch potato there and, just watch what other people are doing. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Except your...
It's just not in your
You
DNA.
have to really... We have just one life, and that's the one. I don't believe in any afterlife. I think, this is the only trip we take which has no destination. I mean, we know all where we go. So are we going to wait 60, 70 years just, things to happen? No, we make it happen.
You've been making things happen always. I mean, how old were you when you came up with this system and the way of early detection of breast cancer?
I was 21, and nobody, in France, where I started the project, believed in me. But in UK, they did, and I went on, and Ministry of Industry there, Mr. Peter Lille was the MP those days, and they believed in it. They helped me. They put money in it, and we developed it, and I patented it, and then I had Prince Michael of Kent giving me an award, so that was really an honor. But if I had listened to conventional people, they were all telling me, Bijan, come on, it takes you 40 years and you will not finish it. It took me 2 years and only 150,000 pounds around that. And we patented it, and I'm glad it saved so many lives. And it is still working, and it's helping pharmaceuticals to develop treatment for the breast cancer. So you see, things in life happen when you start pushing a little bit your train.
With the passion, you have passion for what you do. When you believe in what you do, it's very difficult because a lot of people will, as you encountered, say, oh, you can't do that. But it's important to just not listen like you have and just keep your mind focused on what you want to do.
You see, sometimes you have to listen to your heart, the gut feeling, the English word, sometimes to your brain. The brain is a calculator, protects you, tells you do this and that. But really, this is not a pump. Oh, I'm just hitting my mic, sorry. This is not really, it's a feeling. When you have a feeling that you can do something, go for it. It's worth doing it, just go for it.
And is that how you became a pilot? Well, what was the instigation of I'm going to get my pilot's license?
Well, people tell me, what do you find up there? There is nothing going on. I say, yes, although I'm not a believer. I say, when I go up there, I get closer to God, I'm just going up. Because things down there look so small, when you're up there. So it opens your mind, really, and it's a pleasure.
And also a nice compliment with your filmmaking, that you get to combine all your different talents.
Well, I don't know if I'm talented, but I'm curious about everything. So filmmaking is my passion, flying is another passion, and science is something which really engages me to be a human being, curious about everything, how things go on. Just like David Attenborough, he started with, it was an accident, really. They asked him to do what he was doing, and then suddenly he becomes what he is today. So with all respect due, I say, we really have to live this life to the best of our possibilities without letting it go, because the clock is ticking.
I like the way you say making the best of everything, but you also do it in a very humane way. You're a very environmentalist, you're a vegan,
Yes.
which I think is nice. And I wanted to actually ask you, because I've known you many years, and I've noticed, my kids are also vegan, that there's a lot more choice now of where to go. That 7 years ago you had to have just sides if you were a vegan. Have you also noticed that you now have more options of where and what you can eat?
Well, I mean, veganism was a philosophy. It's a philosophy. I always say my body is a garden, is not a graveyard. You know, I just don't put dead things inside me. But that's another story.
A nice analogy.
Not being cruel to the animals, but it saved my life really. They told me, as you know, 7 years ago, that I had to have a open heart surgery because genetically the arteries were getting smaller and smaller, tighter and tighter. And then I didn't want to do it, you know, stop my heart, then my memory can go and, you know, cut my ribs and things like that. No, thank you. I said no. And they say, well, you have just 1 year to live. 10 to 20% of chances that you can live 1 year. Then I called, as you know, I know so many scientists and doctors around the world, and I called a couple of really very good ones in US, in Germany, in Sweden. They said, if you don't want to do that, the only way is completely, I was vegetarian, but give up all the animal food and, you know, become vegan. And I went 100% vegan. And I was still there after 7 years. I never felt so good.
And I've never felt so good having you on the show again. I hope it's not such a long time till the next time. Bijan Arta is a star. Is definitely a star in my books. We have to leave it there this time, but promise me you'll come back again.
With pleasure.
And think about what you're going to be doing next. We've done like part 1, what you've been doing, and then we have to do part 2, what's coming next time.
With pleasure.
Okay.
With pleasure.
So, Bijan will be back soon, as will I, after this short break. Don't go away.